Testing 1, 2, 3. Put my drink over here. Anybody's got any questions whatsoever about any dog or cat food? Most of them I already know by heart. I can answer them, but if I don't know the dog food or cat food, or ferret food or snake food or whatever it is, I can look it up very easily and I can give you my opinion on any of the dog or cat foods. Once again, anybody has any questions whatsoever on any kind of pet food whatsoever, it can be fish, dog, cat. I know 90% of all pet foods by heart. You can ask me anything about them. You can ask me about the ingredients, and I can answer them no problem whatsoever. I can also tell you some of my top picks for certain breeds of dogs. So there you go on that one. Yep. Tonight is mainly dog and cat Q&A. But once again, anybody can ask me any question about any pet on earth. Dog, cat, fish, reptile, bird, it doesn't matter. I can usually identify any animal in the world, but mainly tonight is about dog and cat. And usually it's, can I ask about the Capstar recommendations you offered? Yeah, Capstar is a great, affordable flea and tick option. Although with the ticks, it sometimes doesn't always work with the ticks, Ticks. But the fleas, I would say within 30 minutes, you can see the fleas on your dog or cat fall to the floor, dead. Because what Capstar does, and what all flea and tick preventions do, is they poison the blood of your dog or cat, which when the fleas drink the blood, they are unalived. Because I can't say the D word on here, the 3-letter D word on here. So, pardon me. I didn't know what else to say. I didn't know what else to say. Anyways, how long does it take to work? That didn't happen. He is still crawling. Really? I gave it to him at 2 p.m. today. All right, first of all, what breed of dog is it? Is it a big hairy dog? Because the big Oh, a cur. That's really odd. So which weight, how much does your cur dog weigh? Is he a blackmouth cur? Seresto is like, I don't know. It's hit or miss with the Seresto flea collars. Okay, he's not a blackmouth, so he's just a standard cur dog. So how much does he weigh, Shannon? What dog who has low phosphorus levels, 0.5 or lower? I have a customer that their dog, Ed McClellan, Fromm has a line, Fromm, F-R-O-M-M. They have a line of dog foods that have low phosphorus levels. And I believe the large breed green bag may not be 0.5 or lower, but it's pretty low. The Fromm one, F-R-O-M-M. Because large breed dogs, you don't want to overload with phosphorus. It'll give them a lot of joint problems. You cannot give high phosphorus dog foods to Great Danes. Speaking of Great Danes, there's Great Dane Mom right there. Yeah, so Ed McClellan, look up Fromm, F-R-O-M-M. So my guess is possibly you underdosed the dog, like the dose wasn't high enough. You're welcome, Ed. That's my best guess. Okay, you gave him the over 25 pounds and he still has fleas. That's very bizarre. So what you can do, Shannon, at first, you can just take regular Dawn soap. This is something, a trick that groomers, dog and cat groomers use. Regular Dawn soap. You don't have to buy flea soap, expensive flea shampoo. Give him the bath in the Dawn first, and then give him a second dose. And that's definitely what you can do. What's that? Yeah, definitely don't get the Dawn soap in the eye. That's coming from a professional dog groomer, actually. So any kind of questions, it could be snake food, bird food, rabbit food. Oh, neem. Neem is very good, although neem does use parabens and sulfates in the shampoo. So after you use it, the dog is itching again, like worse than ever. That's because of parabens and sulfates. So what you can do is give a dog the bath with Earth Bath. That's Earth Bath. And that shampoo is actually very interesting because it started out in zoos, and it was made to be very gentle for like giraffes and other types of zoo animals, tigers, lions, and stuff like that. And give them a bath with Earth Bath, but get as many fleas off as you can with the pressure of the water, and then give him the pill. That's really bizarre. It must have been a really bad infestation. I don't know how. I switched my little dogs to Purina to Honest Kitchen, and they scratch all night. Any idea? Yes, you are denying the yeast infection of more roommates. You're denying the yeast infection of sugar and starches, which starches will break down into sugar eventually. So it's definitely gonna happen. The only thing you can do to get around that is don't give them a bath unless you're using Earth Bath. I used to tell my customers to use baby shampoo, but that is no longer an option. Parabens and sulfates are now in the baby shampoo. So Earth Bath or any shampoo that you can find that has no maybe you can Google that. Dog shampoos with no parabens and sulfates, and that's Parabens, parabens. That will help with itching and scratching. Otherwise, I can tell you what I personally did for my dogs. One of my dogs got into this cat food that I feed to these feral cats outside. It was like just like a Walmart brand dog food. These cats just showed up on our property, and she got into it, and she was licking and scratching and so forth. And I gave her, I personally had to give her amoxicillin. That's what I gave her. My leftover amoxicillin that was for myself, I gave her 250 milligrams in the morning, 250 milligrams at night. That's what I did personally. And you have to give them a fresh start. Or you can wait until fall or winter, because in the fall and winter, the yeast goes into dormancy, and that will allow your dog's immune system to kill it off. What do you think about Taste of... I am assuming, Jambi, you're talking about Taste of the Wild. Taste of the Wild, I feed, personally, the High Prairie and the Southwest Canyon. I don't feed the Pacific Stream because that has Pfaffia yeast in it, even though it's not listed on there. The reason it's not listed on there is because Pfaffia yeast is fed to salmon, and when it's farmed, in order to get the flesh pink like they would in the wild. So they have to feed a Pfaffia yeast. And that Pfaffia yeast, dogs, I noticed that on dogs it shows up on the top of the head and behind the ears first. So I will not feed the Pacific Stream. I also feed the lamb, which is that purple bag. So the yellow bag, the red bag, and the purple bag, and that's it. Now when it comes to Taste of the Wild Prey, Prey, that's a step up. I'll feed any of it except for the fish one. Yeah, you can use Dawn. Dawn's pretty harsh, and it will kill fleas for certain. It's a very old method. I mean, really, even since the 80s, I remember it being used for fleas. With this?
To go to the new messages.
Oh, okay. Is that the blue bag? Which can dogs have canned? Yeah, dogs can have canned. Actually, right now our dogs are eating canned green beans. Perfectly fine, no problem. Although it'll make the poop bigger because you need a bacteria called Animalis. This is a Latin word, Animalis bifida. Otherwise, they can't utilize the nutrients within it. So they'll digest it and it'll come out in their poop, but it'll just make the poop bigger. But if you give them a probiotic, it will help them to digest a little bit of the nutrients in it. Like I use a human probiotic for my dogs, and I grind it up with a pestle and mortar, and I sprinkle it on their food. But if you can get Animals bifida, they can actually utilize any nutrients from any type of vegetable, even carrots and stuff like that. Otherwise, it just kind of makes their poops bigger. Mayflower, I'm reading the Neem shampoo bottle, paraben and sulfate. Okay, well, that's good. All right, paraben and sulfate free is good. So I would use that to give it a head start. And then, after 24 hours, because that's how Capstar flea pills work, you have to wait 24 hours. After 24 hours, give them another pill. But every time I've used it personally or my customers, I've actually had customers challenge me on it and say, well, if I give it to my dog and hang out in your store for 20 or 30 minutes and I don't see fleas fall onto the floor, do I get the pill for free? And I would say yes. And every time I see the fleas, you can just see them all on the floor. So you're welcome, Shannon, for the lives. They have a blue and red bag of Taste of the Wild, what I use. Those two bags, wait, the blue bag, that's Pacific Stream. I personally would not use that. I use Dawn and water to flea comb my cats. That's actually pretty smart. Yes, dogs can have garlic. Now listen, there's a supplement out there. I forgot what it's called. It uses garlic and brewer's yeast. Now the original founders of that product, it's called like flea prevention or something like that. The original founders of that product, it was just garlic tablets covered in chicken fat. That's all it was. And then Four Paws purchased it from this elderly couple and added brewer's yeast to it. So they're giving you the cause and the cure of the itching, so you keep buying the bottle repeatedly. But if you give them just garlic, that's perfectly fine. But don't buy that one product that says garlic and brewer's yeast, or it might just say brewer's yeast pills. Best flea and tick treatments. Getting our 2-week Australian Shepherd puppies. Okay, the best treatment is prevention, but the most affordable flea and tick treatments, well, the most affordable flea treatment is going to be called Capstar, Capstar. The best flea and tick treatments, what's the one that we use? Yeah. Oh, Bravecto. Bravecto is very good. I have what? Yeah, it's a 3-month chew. There is an insert with side effects on there, and they'll tell you like what the side effects are. But I personally have never had any side effects with our dogs, or none of the customers have ever reported it. And unfortunately, you have to get it through a veterinarian unless you live near Mexico. You can just drive across the border and get it for about $12. How about that? So should I keep them on Honest Kitchen even though they're scratching? Yeah, Belinda, so I have to be careful what I say, at least on social media. PetShopTalk.com, I can tell you brutal honesty if you join PetShopTalk.com, but on here I got to be careful. So when you switch them at first to a healthier food, the scratching is definitely going to get worse, and you either have to wait till fall or winter for the scratching to go away because the yeast goes into dormancy. But what I do personally, this is me personally speaking, because I had a dog that got into some cat food that I feed to the feral cats, and she started licking, chewing, scratching. I gave her 250 milligrams of my own human amoxicillin, 250 milligrams in the morning, 250 milligrams at night for 10 days. That's what I personally did. And then you can solve the problem just like that, and it's over with. Best heartworm treatment. Oh man, there's so many heartworm. Oh, there goes my back. Let me pull my desk thing up here. Sorry. Okay, so there's a lot of heartworm treatments out there. I don't know what the latest and greatest is. And the Veterinary Association is constantly changing the names of them because they know a lot of people go across the border to buy the heartworm treatments. You said I haven't had to deal with heartworms in my dogs for years. Um, Gosh, I don't know. You might have to Google that one because I'm not up to date on the latest heartworm names. It's always the same kind of medicine, but the Veterinary Association will change the names of them frequently. And they can also raise the price of them when they change the names as well. Mayflower, you said, my bad, yellow and red bag. Yeah. Okay, yellow and red bag, fine. You can even do the purple bag, which is the lamb. And I personally would only feed those three. How many cloves? I would just, if you have a garlic squeezer, like I make my dog's food. So you could take a garlic squeezer, I forgot what the real name of those is. A garlic press. And you just squeeze the juice over their food. I also pour, like tonight they're getting chicken thighs with white rice. And I'm taking like the probiotics and I mix it in with the chicken fat. I kind of hide it in there. Are those prescription meds? Yeah, all heartworm treatment is going to be prescription. Oh, the flea meds. Capstar is not prescription. Capstar is over the counter, very affordable. I just did a video about it. It should be, 2 or 3 rows down on my video feed. You can find it right there. I'm holding like some boxes of Capstar up, and they are not prescription. But other prescriptions like the Bravecto, yeah, unfortunately, that's a carrot on the stick for the veterinarians. You have to go to the veterinarians for that one, unfortunately. Okay, hang on a second here. Yeah, Bravecto works great, but it gave my dog seizures, and she eventually died from it. Oh, man. Boy, that's the first story I've heard about Bravecto, something like that. American 479, safest for them. I can't, not necessarily affordable. I want safest for the pups, safest for them. But what were you referring to, like flea meds or heartworm? How do you avoid not using heartworm? It's, I don't use heartworm prevention for my dogs. If they're showing symptoms of having heartworms, then I go get the heartworm treatment. But if your dog is exposed to fleas, flies, or mosquitoes, on a daily basis, like where they're really bad, where we live, it's like there are mosquitoes out here. We have like 10.5 acres, but my dogs still haven't had, any heartworms yet. So heartworm prevention, if you can afford it, buy it. But if not, you don't really need it unless your dog's showing symptoms of heartworms. I misspoke. Prevention on heartworm. Yeah, all the heartworm preventions are going to be through the vet. And like I said, they change the names, not annually, but every 2 to 3 years, they change the name to something more fancier and charge some more money for it. And you're just going to have to either Google it or go to the vet. And unfortunately, they do this a litmus test on your dog to see if they have heartworms. They take a drop of blood from your dog and put it on this litmus test, and it'll turn certain colors if your dog has heartworms. What do you think about Baltec? Shannon, Baltec Amber collars. Is that collar with the little tag that hangs from it that's said to prevent mosquitoes, flies, and bugs and stuff like that? Because I think I know what you're talking about. I just need to confirm it with you. Taste of the Wild orange bag. That would be America First. Taste of the Wild orange bag. That would be the puppy version of the yellow bag. Perfectly fine to give to any age dog, even though it says puppy. It's only called puppy because the kibble is much smaller. Perfectly fine. How do you feel about yearly vaccine? Mayflower, the yearly vaccines for dogs, I can't answer that publicly. It's a real shame. But I can answer it through petshoptalk.com, and I'll be brutally honest about the vaccines and everything about them. I'll go beyond what you're asking even, but I can't answer it publicly. I'll even tell you what veterinarians that I grew up around and veterinarians that were my customers and veterinarians that refuse to carry like Science Diet Royal Canin, what they have told me about the annual vaccines. Let's see here. Pet insurance, scam. Leanne, I had several pet insurance companies come into my store wanting to put their stuff on the counter, you know, their little brochures. And I was like, wait. Because they just did it. They didn't even ask. Like, hey, can we put this brochure? They just did it. Yeah, they just did it. And I said, now tell me how this works. And they're telling me how it works. And it's a scam. The whole thing is a scam. We know how you feel. Yeah, I know it's awful. Publicly, I can't say it. That's why I created the PetShopTalk.com so people can go on there and they can ask me. Actually, I just posted a story like less than an hour ago about Petland that I can't talk about publicly, but I can talk about it on PetShopTalk.com. I hired somebody that used to work for Petland, and the electric went out one day. And when the electric goes out in the store, we lock the doors because that's when all the shoplifters come in. So we're just kind of sitting around waiting for the electric to come on. And he told us a story that dropped our jaws. It was very angering. Petland is a puppy mill, and worse. I only do vaccines every 3 years. Dang. My reflex world of Mila and Bella, my reflex, I almost went into what I wanted to say about vaccines, but I just can't. I can't. Not through here anyway. Biotags that hang on the collars. Okay, I sold those for about 2 years. The feedback that I got from the customers, from these collars with these tags that is supposed to scare off flies and mosquitoes and bugs and stuff, the customers told me that it was only around the front quarters of the dog that it worked, that they needed to have something around the back part of the dogs as well, and they don't make anything like that. So it seemed to work for the customers on the front quarters of the dog, but everything went to the back instead. I guess it would be like if you were in a swamp and you sprayed off mosquito spray just on one arm, you know, and then the other arm you didn't, so you're going to get bit all over this arm. So that's the feedback I got on the biotags. Oh, itchy dog. My dog was itching for years. I hate Apoquel. Started giving Proviable probiotics. Proviable or provable? Proviable. Anyways, yes. And don't forget to give prebiotics as well. And the great thing is that Pumpkin has both prebiotics and probiotics. Yes, World of Mila and Bella. It is definitely a scam. Pumpkin is great. I use it for my dogs. It has both pre and probiotics. The prebiotics is just food for the probiotics. It helps because eventually the probiotics will run out. When they run out of food to eat, they will run out of, your probiotics will eventually die off. And you'll notice like one day your dog's poop really stinks bad. And that's all the dead probiotics coming out, typically. I don't see it anymore. Okay. Earthborn rabbit dog food. Is it a good allergy food for my cockapoo? Cockapoos, and Labradoodles, Doodles, all those types of dogs, people are going to tell you that they're hypoallergenic. Those breeds of dogs tend to internalize their allergies. And what do I mean by that? You don't see it on the outside, but suddenly they have pancreatitis, or suddenly they have liver and kidney problems. You see that? That was weird. Liver and kidney problems. And their pee really stinks, or it's really dark yellow, So the problem with the earthborn rabbit is I don't know where they're sourcing their rabbits. You can ask them, but I can probably guarantee you, well, they're definitely not going to be wild caught. I mean, I don't see Elmer. I can't see like Elmer Fudd out there hunting hundreds of thousands of rabbits, to provide earthborn. I do like earthborn dog food. Some of it I don't agree with, some of it I do, but Earthborn is owned by Midwest Pet. So that means that the rabbits are going to be farm-raised rabbits, and they're going to be fed junk. They're going to be fed stuff that will fatten them up quickly, and that's going to be yeast, because yeast makes everything hungrier. It's the same with chicken and turkey. When you see chicken, turkey, fish, rabbit in a food, they're going to be fed yeast so they plump up quickly. And that yeast gets passed on to your dog or cat. Yes, America First 79. All insurance is a scam. I'm actually in a lawsuit with State Farm right now, believe it or not. I'm way behind on the comments. What do I think about Jinx dog food? I just did a review on Jinx dog food. I don't like the word Jinx, first of all, if you look up the history on it, but Jinx, it should be about the 4th or 5th row down on my video feed. It was just in the last 3 weeks I just did a review on Jinx. But it's part of a broader video called, the best pet food at PetSmart or something like that. Something like to that nature. And I go through the aisles and I run into Jinx dog food and I talk about it briefly. And that's my review on Jinx. Okay. Top dog foods to give my Russian. No, top. Don't give your. Actually, in the 80s, we were giving Russian tortoises dog food, believe it or not. Russian tortoises, fun fact, they're actually not from Russia. They're from Southeast Asia. But the students from the University of Russia, I actually just did a video on this too. It's called The Fun Facts or something like that. The students from the University of Russia were the first ones to find this tortoise in Southeast Asia and decided they were going to call it the Russian tortoise. So Russian tortoises, try to avoid packaged food. Packaged food, most all of it is going to have yeast in it. And what does that do? Yeast is there for greed. So now, I don't normally promote Zoomed, Zoomed, but they do have a canned food for tortoises. And the good thing about canned food is there is no reason, it's pointless for dog, cat, reptile companies to put yeast in canned food because it just dies and it doesn't serve the purpose that they want. So Zoomed does have a decent fruity food for tortoises that will work. But Russian tortoises will eat both bugs and vegetables. But avoid iceberg lettuce at all costs. Do not feed a Russian tortoise iceberg lettuce. Give them collard greens first. Give them, you can give them Timothy hay, romaine lettuce, shredded carrots. Try to get, right now, Just Feed Fresh Romaine won't eat it though. Yeah, the calcium powder. Now listen, Dr. Andrew, there's a liquid calcium that you can spray on there, and then they'll eat it. I forgot who makes that. It's Zilla, Zilla. Zilla makes that. It's a spray-on liquid calcium. You just kind of shake it up real good, and they love superworms. You can feed superworms or the regular smaller mealworms. You can feed earthworms, night crawlers, crickets. As long as the Russian tortoise isn't overweight, they'll chase crickets all over the tank. You're welcome. Oh, you're a dog cat vet. Oh, I'm sure a lot of people would like to ask you some things that I can't speak on publicly, but Mr. Pickles, the Russian, Mr. Pickles. And maybe he'll eat a pickle. Well, that's a cucumber, so they'll eat cucumbers too. You can shred them up. But yeah, try to do like 50-50 with the meat and vegetables because they're omnivores. Definitely. Yeah, I can answer any. I can identify nearly any reptile in the world as long as it's natural, because people are interbreeding these things and stuff, and they're looking funky now. It's just ridiculous. And the problem is they don't live as long, and it's a cruel life for a snake to live when they start interbreeding these things like that. Oh, 5-way shot, yes or no at any age? Hey, Dr. Andrew Lewis, are you still in here? Because I can't answer that question. Hang on there, America First. It's, okay, yes. Let's see. I'm good. How are you? Better you than me. Okay, and let me ask you this. I wonder if you agree with me on this one other one. How do you feel about the rabies vaccine? Getting it every year. Dogs. I see. Hmm. Okay, all right, we agree on that. I had a customer get bit by another customer's dog, anyways, they were. I was in the middle of the lawsuit, but I eventually found my way out of it. And one of the lawyers called and asked me to ask that customer for a rabies vaccination, and I said, well, they have one, but it's not updated. They just had one, and they said, well, in Texas, we haven't had a case of rabies since 1974. So one rabies shot is all that's required. And so I eventually was like, why are you asking me? You need to call them. Like, what? I'm out of this. Like, it wasn't my dog that bit anybody, kind of thing. But yeah, they're in Texas. You just require when there's an incident, it's just one rabies vaccine required, and that's it. Oh man. Right. So, which school did you go to school in California? David. Oh my. I don't know about 23 years ago, but I I believe that school is heavily influenced or funded or receives donations through Science Diet. Hill Science Diet? Am I correct in saying that? Yeah, 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 yeah. Oh, I got free pens. Yeah. Uh, uh, mm, uh. That's Victor. That's Victor. Victor dog food. Mm, 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 mm. Yeah. Mhm. Yeah. Huh. Interesting. I just had a question to ask you, but it just blew my mind now. All of a sudden, I can't remember what it was. But yeah, yeah, yeah. I totally get it. Wow, that's really interesting. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of dog foods out there, and there's a lot to choose from. I personally feed raw to my dogs, but mm, turkey. Okay. Mm, mm, yeah. Okay. So what I learned from a study that was done in Russia with the wolves, they went around and followed wolves around all throughout northern Russia and took their poop while it was still fresh. And then they tested it to see what was in it, what kind of animals they were eating, and so forth. But the common factor for all these wolves was a bacteria called Anomalous bifida. And without that bacteria, so if the wolf ate a rabbit, but the rabbit just recently had some rice or ate some vegetables or something like that, without that Anomalous bifida, Latin word, that wolf can't digest whatever that rabbit ate. That's why lions, tigers, wolves, even dogs, they'll always eat the stomach first when they make when they hunt. I can't say the other word. When they make a hunt on an animal, they always eat that bacteria first out of the stomach, and then they go for the nutrient dense organs like the liver, kidneys, and heart. Then they go for the dark meat. But interesting is the white meat is always left for the puppies. Very interesting. Yeah, it was really cool yeah, yeah. They found grass. The wolves were eating grass and berries. They didn't find like there was a area where the wolves were surrounded with rice crops, but the wolves never touched it. Like the wolves never purposely. Oh, oh, you're still at work? Oh wait, it's only 7:20 over there. 6:20. Oh, okay. Oh, Ralph Furley. Yeah. Well, what was this famous saying? I don't know. He always like bust in the door, and he was the landlord. From what I remember. Oh, do you have the tortoise with you? Oh, okay. All right. Wow. Oh, he's energetic. Amen. Amen. And there's some questions on the screen for you. I don't know. You don't have to answer them, but they're there. Um, so, the, oh, oh, no problem. It says, "What's your thoughts on the teeter tests?" Uh, that's it. Yeah, titer test. Right. Oh, okay, so that was 23 years ago. You graduated 23, 24. What did they teach you? What did they teach you about what the difference between feeding a dog meat and feeding a dog corn? Like, was there more emphasis on, hey, you know, corn is great, like kind of hypnotizing you on that, or what was that like? Oh, wow, weird. Yeah, I'm sorry. Somebody, somebody brought me. Oh, sorry. Right, right. So what? Okay, okay, all right, that's good. One of my customers who had, well, they were still in school at Texas A&M. They brought me one of their textbooks that they weren't using anymore, and I had brought it home and I was going through it. I was just jaw dropped. Texas A&M is heavily influenced through Science Diet. I mean, they donate millions and millions every year, but I was just kind of jaw dropped about what I saw. There was just like a paragraph about dogs being carnivores and should be eating meat and so forth. But then, like, all the rest of it was about corn and rice and the benefits of corn and rice and stuff. And in my opinion, yeah. Oh, so you know what? As of 10 years ago, there was a couple of veterinary schools that were not influenced by any dog food companies, but now all of them are. So maybe back then yours wasn't influenced. That could be, um, you know, could be what that was. Ah, right. Oh, Yeah. Yeah. Mhm. None. Huntington Beach, none. There's actually a store. Oh, sorry. Thank God you didn't mention DCM. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. So when are we going to get you a snake? Okay, never mind. Yeah, you're done. Okay. Oh wow. Goodness gracious. Wow. Yeah, that's crazy. Okay, well, I appreciate you coming on here. Somebody just said how long to wait to fix a female Aussie. My answer for that would be about 8 months. But what's your answer, Doc? Mm. Mm. Yeah. Right. Got it. Mm. Bailey Wally says, "What's the best dog diet for dogs with EPI?" And I don't. I'm not sure what he's referring to with EPI. Ah, right. All right. And you know, right. Um, Fun fact: Huntington Beach, and also in the San Francisco area. Hang on one second. TikTok is messing with me. Huntington Beach and the San Francisco area. There's a garter snake there that it's kind of hard to find, but it is a beautiful garter snake, and they can cost anywhere from $500 to $2,000. Like in the reptile market, but they're protected in California. You're not allowed to catch them, even though people do, quietly, and then breed them and then resell them and so forth. But yeah, it's I can't remember the first name of the garter snake, but it's a something garter snake. But it's a gorgeous, it's got a rainbow of colors on it. It's really something else. Yep, yep. Garter. So we don't want to keep you anymore because you're already there late. I I know how it goes. So thank you very much for being on here. I appreciate it. And good luck. Oh, what? Sorry. What's the name of that channel? Yeah. And what's the name of your channel? OC, like the TV show, the old one. Oh, okay. That's funny. That's funny. I still watch that show sometimes at night, just once in a while. It's funny. Come and knock on my door. Take a step at a two. All right. Thanks a lot. I appreciate it. All right. You too. Bye bye. Ah, well, that was fun. I agree with him on a lot of things, and I disagree with him on some, which is rare for when I encounter a veterinarian. It's usually I disagree with everything they're saying, but he's actually a cool guy. There's a few things I disagree with, but ultimately he seems like a nice guy, and so forth. I'm glad to see that he has, he had, and for you guys on YouTube, I didn't want to interrupt him. There was a doctor on TikTok, and he was talking. That's why I was just kind of sitting here silent, like nodding my head here and there, because I was letting him talk. So I apologize to the YouTube people that are watching, the YouTube audience. Sorry, I couldn't think of the word. I was just letting this doctor talk, and I was just kind of sitting here in silence like a dummy. I must have looked like a dummy, I mean, to people on YouTube watching. Like, this guy doesn't say anything. He just sits there and nods his head. So, anyways, somebody said LOL back there. It was Mayflower. I don't know if Mayflower is still in here because he was talking about corn and rice and stuff, and I was just like gritting my teeth. If a veterinarian is nice to me, I'm going to be nice right back. I'm going to be respectful right back. But if a veterinarian pushes me too far, then I'll just steamboat, just boom, boom, boom. But in all honesty, dogs cannot digest corn, rice, fava beans, any grain at all, unless they have that bacteria called Anomalous bifida. And so the corn and the rice is really just there just to make money. It's just there to water down the food. It's like ethanol and gasoline, 10% ethanol. That means 10% more profits for gas and oil companies. That's what that means. It's just that simple. So if anybody has any question whatsoever, like when it comes to questions about vaccinations or anything veterinary related, I can answer them, but I can only answer them through petshoptalk.com because it's private. But this is not private. This is public social media, so I cannot answer them. And I'm going to try to get that doctor to come back on one day, maybe like once a month or something like that. But I can tell he wanted to get off, and I know exactly how he feels because, being in this all my life, when it's closing time and you've been dealing with customers all day long and animals all day long, you just want to go home and eat. So I know exactly how he feels, and I didn't want to take advantage of him or anything like that. So anybody can ask me anything they want about any dog or cat food, and I'll give you my honest opinion publicly. But when it comes to vaccinations, shots, medicines, and stuff like that, I can only answer it through petshoptalk.com. And like I said, the veterinary medicines like heartworm treatments, the names are changed every 2 to 3 years. So I'm not up to speed on all of the different types of heartworm medications and flea medications and so forth. So it would just take me some time to look it up. But I can answer it through petshoptalk.com. Or we can ask Dr. So-and-so. I can't remember his name now. Dr. Andrew. He said wait 10 to 12 months to pick the female Aussie. How many heat cycles can we? I would say 1 to 2. I'm America first. I think that your Aussie would have 1 to 2 cycles between 10 and 12 months, if that's what you're asking. But for me, 1 cycle would be fine. Thoughts on Ollie's Fresh Food? I need to look that up. That's a new one for me. Hang on 1 second. We're looking it up right now. But yeah, so any kind of, personally I feed raw, but I know that raw is not practical for everybody. Not everybody has time to feed raw. I totally get that. So even when I can't feed raw, I will feed Taste of the Wild High Prairie. I'll feed Taste of the Wild Southwest Canyon, Taste of the Wild Sierra Mountain, which is lamb. Which flavor of Ollie's Fresh Food, Kelly G? And when I can feed raw, I add, I do chicken and pork. Those are very affordable. I bought a huge piece of pork on the last live. I showed it to everybody. A monstrous, chicken, lamb, and beef. A monstrous piece of pork for about $7, and it fed my dogs for 7 days. That's $1 a day. That's $30 a month. And then, I added either potato or white rice with probiotics. How long does it heat? 3 to 4 weeks. America first. Yes, you're definitely, especially the first and second cycles, you definitely want a diaper. It's going to be everywhere. Definitely.
Oh, okay, that's not one flavor. That's like all.
But I think America first, you said you had an Aussie. You might have a little issue with the Aussie chewing the diaper off.
This is the chicken.
Okay, so Kelly G, I'm looking at the ingredients right here. Chicken. Oh, is this like one of those mailed fresh foods or whatever?
It's at Petco.
Oh, it's at Petco. Oh, I see it. Okay, it's a kibble is what I'm looking at here. It looks like a kibble. Ollie baked chicken dish with carrots, dry food, 14 pounds for $100. Mother of mercy. Chicken, oats, chickpeas, pea flour, chicken livers. All right, I'm going to tell you what this is. Oh no, fresh food. Oh, it comes frozen. Okay. All right, so I'm going to tell you what this is, Kelly. I got to check myself, my tongue, my mouth, and not say certain things to get in trouble. Okay, so it comes frozen. All right. So if it's coming frozen, so that means most of any good or bad bacteria that is in that frozen food is gone. Uh, Dr. Andrew Lewis, that's his name. Sorry. So when you see the word chicken as the first ingredient, I'll tell you how you can. You know what, Kelly? You can go on Alibaba.com and look, and the Chinese will sell you chickens, but with all the meat off of it. So you get the head, you get all the bone, you get the innards, you get the beak obviously comes with the head, and you get the feet, but you don't get the meat. That is a phenomenal amount of money for. I don't.
Okay, this is the frozen one. This is the beef.
Okay, let me look at the frozen beef and sweet potato. Here we go. Beef curry. Okay, so the best ingredient on there is the beef kidneys, which is nutrient dense, and that is the third ingredient. So when it says beef, it's supposed to mean just the meat. If you look at the AAFCO standards, AAFCO, it's supposed to mean just the meat part of the beef only. So no bone, no hooves or horns or anything like that. So if that's true, and how much is that bag?
It's $52.99 for 5 pounds.
Oh my gosh, $52.99 for 5 pounds.
Is that right?
Is that right?
It's $34.44 if you do the auto ship
It-
because
it-
you're getting a discount off your first order.
Okay, if you do an auto ship, it's $34.44. That is outrageous.
But that's only the first order.
And that's you only get it for 34 something for the first order. After that, it's $52 or whatever it was. So it's good. It's good. The ingredients look fine, although you're going to need to add some probiotics to it because the probiotics are going to be killed during the freeze. I should say the probiotic bacteria is going to be killed during the freeze. I get it for 70% off every time. Oh wow, that's fantastic.
You'd have to at that price.
Yeah, if you're getting 70% off, buy it. Otherwise, personally speaking, using different emails.
So she's paying like $16 for 5 pounds.
That is hilarious. My favorite frozen fruit, Kelly, has been Tucker's, Tuckers, because when you have a private label brand, which this most likely is a private label, meaning this, any average Joe with 50 grand or something like that, you can start Tucker's. You can start your own dog food, and you can tell them how to package it. This is how I want the package. So, for instance, I was at a show in Las Vegas, a pet show in Las Vegas, and I forgot the name of the company, but they had a big banner up that said, "Have your own." I'm spitballing this here, but basically it says, own your own pet food brand, private label kind of thing, which means that. So, for instance, like Diamond private labels for Sam's Club. All right, so any average Joe can just private label anything. And that's what this looks like to me. I'm not 100% sure of that, but that's what it looks like to me. But Tucker's they're a family. And I'm going to mention something else to you about another family pet food. Tucker's is family owned, and they have they keep quality control over their ingredients. So everything is contained. It's not like they're having to, yes, Tucker's is frozen. It's not like Tucker's has to just hope that, company X that's private label branding for them is going to stay on the up and up and not put phenobarbital in their food or process dead dog, well, I said the D word, unalive dogs and cats, which is a thing, especially with Purina, putting euthanized pets in the food. So Tucker's, they have, everything is contained. their survival in this business depends on them and not somebody else. So they're all about quality control. And if I had to choose a second frozen food, it would be Instinct. My only question with Instinct Raw, frozen raw, which you can find at Petco, I think at Walmart, and possibly a small line at PetSmart. My only question with Instinct Raw is where they're sourcing their stuff. And if you see something that says chicken meal is the first ingredient, just get away from it, because that means there's really no chicken meat in it. It's just bones, beaks, feathers, and innards. Not that innards are bad, but you need meat too. But you can buy these giant 300-pound bags from China for about $80. And so if you can take 300 pounds of chicken for $80 and mix it up with corn and mix it up with rice and this and that, and add some yeast to puff up that kibble a little bit, boy, you're in the you're in the money big time. That's all I can say about that. Man, my mouth is getting dry. No kibble. Not feeding my dogs chicken. We have 20. We have chickens also. I train my dogs but I know what you're saying, America First. I train my dogs from a very, very young age not to attack anything, and they're bullies, and they don't mess with the chickens at all. Other than they go raiding the chicken's egg nest, so they'll sniff around and look to where. And the chickens are always changing it because they know that the dog is going in there and eating their eggs. What kind of dog would you recommend for an English Bulldog? That's one of my favorite dogs. I love to squeeze their faces off. So English Bulldogs are highly allergic to a lot of things. So I'm going to say try to find things that are wild caught. And the reason I say that is because let's say you went to Tyson Chicken, which sells a lot of chicken junk, I should say, to dog food companies. If you found out what they were feeding those chickens, it's going to be corn, wheat, soy. There's another one. Corn, wheat, soy. Well, anyways, corn, wheat, soy, and yeast. And the yeast is there to make the chicken hungrier to plump up. So that goes for chicken, turkey, rabbit. What's the other one? Chicken, turkey, rabbit. And the good thing is it's hit or miss with cows. Most, not all, but most cows are grass-fed. So mostly beef is safe. And most, if you see like wild boar in a bag, that's a very good thing. Taste the Wild Southwest Canyon has one wild boar. And I know for a fact that their wild boar anyway, is wild caught here in Texas and in Oklahoma. Tucker's is frozen raw. That's correct. So English Bulldogs, you got to stay away from the things that, like anything feathered at all. Oh, duck. That was the other one I was thinking of. Anything feathered at all, because we have had a Pomeranian that just recently passed. I'll get to that one here in a second. Anything with feathers, stay away from it. I would say try to find something that says wild caught, and like that's like the only thing in the bag. Or, if you can find a local butcher. If you lived in Ethiopia, that would be great, because I recently learned that Ethiopia's beef is so much. It's like a much different color than our beef. It's like a dark red, and I wish I could eat it, but that's a far flight. Cross reactivity of proteins. Dr. Andrew, he's still in here. The Pomeranian. I actually posted a video, Jack, with our Pomeranian. I went saltwater fishing, and I caught some whitefish. And I gave her a whole whitefish, and she would just slurp. I put a video, it's way down in my feed somewhere, but she was just living her best life eating that entire whitefish. But guess what she did? The first thing she did, I don't know if I put it in the video or not, but she ate out the stomach first. She ate all the innards out first, and then she was just just drooling. And then if I'd like put my hand kind of close to her, like I was going to take the fish away, and she'd go, you know, you just lift the lips of dogs. You can see they're carnivores.
Other dogs won't touch it.
Oh yeah. So I'm not saying every dog is going to eat, saltwater whitefish. Also, my Pomeranian loved octopus. Our Pomeranian, I should say. I have another video of her. She loves saltwater items, and that makes sense because of where their DNA comes from. What's the name of that area? The ride at Animal Kingdom.
Everest.
Yeah,
Expedition Everest.
yeah. What's that area called? Anyways, it's called Expedition Everest. It's a ride. I feel like I'm on a game show, like 5 seconds. Anyways, they're from that area. Oh, like Nepal. Nepal, that's what I'm thinking of. Yes, Pomeranians. You'll see when they first start getting a yeast infection, you start seeing the drainage out of the eyes, and then it works its way to the ears, and you see them like digging in their ear real slow. And when it gets really bad, they'll just go, that kind of thing. But yeah, it makes sense. I try to feed my dogs our dogs, as close to their DNA as possible. So human grade could still be beaks and feet. Yes, that is a good question, Kelly G. According to the AFCO standards. So if it says human grade, that can definitely mean that it was human grade. Like this chicken was human grade. So technically that carries over the beaks and feathers and all the stuff that people don't want. So yes, Kelly G. If you go on Google and go AFCO definition meanings or something like that, you've got to read it carefully. And law is something that I love. I love like tort law and stuff like that. So if you got to read it real carefully because it's very tricky. And for you guys on YouTube, if you have a question, you can type it there.
Say hi to Wild Child on TikTok.
Wild Child. Oh, Wild Thing. That reminds me of that movie Major League. Yeah, I think they call him Wild Child or something like that. But yes, the AFCO standard definitions are made to be, up in the air. It's like, I see it all the time with just human commercials. Like, maybe we're implying it, but we're not saying that it is. That kind of thing. Yes, dog food companies. And Kelly, the more ingredients you see, like Nature's Recipe and Royal Canin renal failure, not renal failure. It's just it's just called Royal Canin. I'm done. Good night. Royal Canin renal. It's like a renal diet, and that has a slew of ingredients. Why do all these dog food companies have all these ingredients? Like, some of them are outrageous because that would be thanks to Monsanto. This is through the Farm Act or the Farm Bill. I don't know if Dr. Andrews is still in here. He may be familiar with it or maybe not. But if you buy ingredients through the Farm Act, and I know that. Thank you, Wild Child. Gosh, you've been in here for 50 minutes. I know that Bayer, Bayer, they purchased Monsanto. Kelly, I can't answer that. I can answer it privately through petshoptalk.com, but I cannot answer it publicly. But anyways, so yeah, if anybody has a question, I can usually answer them all on here, but through petshoptalk.com, I'll tell you anything you want to know about any dog food. I'll go right back to you, Des. Hang on one second. But anyways, if you buy, let's say you buy your your peas, your garbanzo beans, your legumes, your rice, your corn. You buy all that through the Farm Act, which is through Monsanto. It's not like it's coming from mom and pop farms. I can tell you that right now. But if you buy that through the Farm Act, you get tax breaks at the end of the year. And that is why you see so many ingredients, especially on human food, because the more ingredients you buy, it's like a pyramid scheme. The more ingredients you buy, the bigger the tax breaks. So these guys, some companies will even, that have nothing to do with pet food, they will start their own pet foods just so they can have these tax breaks. It's ridiculous. So the more ingredients you see, that means they're greedy as, like Royal Canin Renal. I showed that video. I don't know if I did a video on it or not, but that there were so many ingredients on there. And this is because, and I'm sure if Dr. Andrew is still in here, he probably doesn't know this, but the more ingredients that Royal Canin buys through the Farm Act or the Agricultural Act, whatever you want to call it, the bigger the tax break they get. This is why they just push this kind of stuff. It's rarely meat, though. I don't think there's any meat available through the Farm Act. It's all grains and certain chemicals and vitamins, synthetic vitamins, I should say. What was the what's your take on giving dogs plain Greek yogurt? Again, for an English Bulldog, perfectly fine. I have a snobby little terrier that won't touch yogurt, but yogurt is perfectly fine. But I make sure there's no sugar in it, especially for an English Bulldog, because the yeast infection. Dr. Andrew, are you still in here? Because I want to say stuff, but I don't want to say it if you're in here, because I don't want you to think I'm being rude to you, because I'm not. But anyways, if the yogurt has sugar in it, it'll feed the yeast infection. It'll make it worse. But English Bulldogs, Bull Terriers, anything in the terrier family that goes for pit bulls as well, you got to be real careful of what you feed them, especially if they're not neutered or spayed. The itching and scratching will be even. Itching and scratching will be even worse. What do you think of Earthborn Meadow Feast? Actually, I haven't looked at Earthborn Meadow Feast in a long time. I have looked at the other ones. From what I remember with the Meadow Feast here on YouTube, I'm answering a question on YouTube if anybody wants to know. Meadow Feast is like a mixture of several different types of meats, but we're pulling it up right now. Let me look at it and double check it, because that particular one I haven't looked at in a couple years. But I think it had poultry, a couple of poultries, a couple of red meats. It was just like a mishmash of this and that. But hang on one second. We're pulling it up right now, and I'll let you know there. But Dr. Andrew, are you still in here? Can I speak freely? Oh, you are. Dang it all. Never mind. Okay, we took your advice and started our Frenchies on Taste of Wild Puppy. It's not a bad brand. Okay, yeah. Okay, they changed it up now. Meadow Feast is lamb meal only. Okay, so lamb meal. Oh, I'm looking at this one. That is according to the AAFCO standards, AAFCO. When you see the word meal, that means it's the whole entire animal is processed. So that's a good thing. So lamb meal, pumpkin, which has pre and probiotics in it, which is great. Sweet potatoes. I would only avoid this food because it has sweet potatoes if my dog already has a problem with a yeast infection. That is the only time I would avoid this food. Let's keep going. This one has a lot of ingredients too. You see what happens? I've seen this all my life. I've seen this. Dog food companies will start with good intentions, like the Merrick dog food, which was made here in Texas. The Merrick family no longer owns it. They started with great intentions, and it was purchased by Nestle. I think it was Nestle. And Nestle purchased it, and when they did that, you can see, boom, all these ingredients were added overnight, it seemed. But let's see. I see a bunch of Earthborn is owned by Midwest Pet, and greed is a terrible thing. Okay, the good thing here is at the very bottom, they have a lot of different fermentation products or a lot of different probiotics, which is great. A lot of that is going to die because that is, I said the D word again. A lot of those that bacteria, that good bacteria, is going to be unalived during the cooking process because that gets added before it's cooked. So only about 10 to 16%. I used to be a board member for Champion Pet Foods, and when I visited the kitchen where Champion Pet Foods got bought out by Mars a long time ago, which was really, really sad. But you can see the probiotics being sprayed and the prebiotics on the Origin and the Acana dog foods. But when it comes through, this place was high tech. I mean, it was incredible. And when it was done at cooking, when it came through, it had all the percentages of every ingredient in that food. And the probiotics and the prebiotics, started at 100. And when it was done cooking, it was down to 16%. So that was really interesting. All in all, it's not a bad food. Wayne Brown, what kind of dog do you have? And does he have current issues already, with itching and scratching and stuff like that? Fromm. The Fromm family, user 532, do you mean Voyager dog food? The Fromm family actually was the first family to put dog food in a package. And they are also the first family to invent a vaccine for, it was either distemper or rabies. They were fox hunters. They were real big on fox hunting. They also used to live next door to Louis Pasteur, the guy that ruined milk for everybody, but the guy that pasteurized milk. They are also the first dog food company to make a large breed dog food. Fun little facts there. I actually got to know the Fromm family pretty well. And then one of the kids took over, and I'm not going to publicly say anything about that. But he was covered in gold, let's just say that. When I saw him in Vegas, he was just covered in gold, and I noticed certain ingredients being added to the bags. But Fromm has like a line called Fromm Gold. It's okay. In my opinion, I'd give it like a 3.5 to 4 star, depending on which bag you get. Then they have a grain-free line. The beef frittata, it's called beef frittata, F-R-I-T-A-T-A. That was my absolute best-selling Fromm bag for small dogs. It just flew out the door like crazy. They also have a lamb one that's very good. But all in all, the Fromm grain-free line is I would say 4.5 to 5 stars, depending on which flavor you get. What do you think causes itching and scratching on dogs' lips only? That's the beginning, Teresa. Dr. Andrew is still in here, I think. He might agree with me on this. But so I have a bully, right? And I also have these feral cats that showed up on our property through the cat distribution system. So I just went to Walmart and bought the best food I could find at Walmart, but for Walmart. And I started feeding these cats, and they're here every night now. But my bully got into their food. And that was the very first sign that she showed, because that cat food I got from Walmart for those feral cats had yeast in it. And so the first thing was, I noticed that she was constantly licking her face, and I already knew what it was immediately. And then, I like open her mouth, and you can see the white on the tongue. That's how it all starts. So that's the beginning, in my opinion, that's the beginning of a yeast infection. And it's never ending, because they just, whatever food they're eating, they just keep wiping it all over their face. And I've heard veterinarians call this old dog nose, but like the nose will split I know Dr. Andrew's still in here, but it wasn't Dr. Andrew. It was this one veterinarian here in Houston, and they just said, "Oh, that's called old dog nose." But the problem is they keep licking their nose, and they're just passing the yeast infection onto their nose. And the yeast requires water to live, and it sucks all the moisture out of your dog's nose and splits it open. And then the dog starts licking their feet, and then they pass it to their feet. Then the dog starts licking their stomach, and they pass it to their stomach. And it just never ends. And then the whole yeast infection just spread throughout the whole dog. Scout's Honor. Scout's Honor is an Eco 88 ripoff cleaner. I did not know they had a soap for dogs, but I know they started out as a cleaner. Eco 88 is the best. I'm not even plugging them or nothing. I don't get nothing from them. But Eco 88 is the best cleaner, not just for pets. I mean, just in general. That stuff is the bomb. I shouldn't have said the B word. It got Kool-Aid out of the seat of my car, the red one. It like drew the Kool-Aid, red Kool-Aid, right out of the fabric, and I just wiped it up with a cloth, and it was gone. F1. Oh, Vonger? I don't know what Vonger is.
I think I was trying to say Voyager.
Are you trying to say Voyager? User 532. So how do you get rid of yeast totally? Well, you can go to a veterinarian like Dr. Andrew, who is in here, and he'll probably, I'll agree with corticosteroid shots once, but I don't agree with corticosteroid shots more than once. Dr. Andrew might tell you differently. He's in here. But you go to a veterinarian, they'll give you a corticosteroid shot that will help temporarily with the itching and scratching. And someone like Dr. Andrew might also prescribe antibiotics, maybe Clavamox, something like that. And that will get rid of the yeast totally. But you need to figure out where the yeast is coming from while you got rid of the yeast, or while the dog's on the medication. Figure out where it's coming from. And many of my customers couldn't figure it out. But they finally figured out the kids were throwing table scraps to the dogs in the form of yeast, like, bread or pieces of cake and stuff like that, or their Lunchables. And that's how the dogs were getting yeast. One of the cases with one of my customers, they could not figure out where the yeast was coming from. And it was their neighbors. They felt like the dogs weren't getting fed enough, so they were throwing a loaf of bread over the fence every day, and the dogs were eating the loaf of bread. So that was really interesting as well. Vonger's salmon dog food. Did you find that?
Oh, Voyager?
Maybe it's Voyager.
I think it's Voyager.
But now you say Voinger. You're welcome, JDK. Yeah, I know Dr. Andrew's got a lot to say. I knew you would. But I'm getting tired myself. You had to write that. I like to take notes. But anyways, I'm sure Dr. Andrew wants to say which different medicines he probably would use. I'm guessing that's, I'm guessing that's what he's probably wanting to say. But in my experience, that's, for yeast infections, I've got so much microscope work. When this whole thing became a thing, yeast infections, which was, it's always been a thing. I had a dog in the late 80s into the mid 90s that passed away, just constantly scratching and itching. And he ate Science Diet his whole life. But I was always curious, and at my store I had whiteboards all over the wall, and I was connecting ingredients. Every time a customer would come in, I'd write down the name of the food, and I was connecting lines to ingredients, like trying to find the common denominator. And it was always, the number one was brewer's yeast. That's a very aggressive yeast that they use for beer. Okay, I want to hear this. All right, Dr. Andrews, you can do a join thing. I don't know how to do it, but you can ask to join and I'll cue you in here. I saw something about giving your dog sardines help with yeast. Yeah, because it's salt. Because salt will kill yeast. Sardines are very salty. I love sardines. Could you give me a quick recap on Fleet and Heartworm products? Thank you. You're awesome. Jennifer, Dr. Andrew's about to come in, I believe. Oh, actually, I think I know how to do that. Do I? Let me see. Let me do that. Let me do that. Okay, there he is. Okay, what do I want to hear? What do I want to hear? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Ooh. Mm-hmm. Right. Yes. Oh, okay. Like a litmus test. Uh-oh. Is that okay? Right. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Hmm. Oh, I see. Yeah. Right, right. Yeah. Oh. Okay, I see. It sounds like you're driving, so I'm going to ask this. Okay, somebody asked, is canine reactive histocytosis something that would require cyclosporin for the last 6 years? Okay. All right, last question for you. And this is a question I get asked a lot, and I refuse to answer it publicly. But for people on a tight budget, they want to know, is Zyrtec okay for once a day until finding out what's causing a rashing and itching? Ooh. Oh. Mm. Got it. So stay away from the D's. Hmm. Got it. Okay, Jennifer, I believe he just talked about topical lotions. He doesn't really like them. He was talking about using a mousse. And can you say what that mousse is one more time? You're welcome, Teresa. Okay. And after this, I'll be hopping off here. I'm hungry. Okay, there it is. Oh, I need to take a screenshot of that, or at least I'll write it down. Okay, we got it. Yeah, there we go. Thank you for the mousse. Okay. Oh, it comes with a shampoo as well. Got it. You must be in a bad area, Doc, because I can hear my echo, and I can hear you typing on your phone. It's like tap, 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 tap. Yep. Ditto. It is fun. It is. It is. It's a lot of fun. Somebody said, is it only for use on the paws? Yeah. Okay. I too. I agree with that. Yep, totally. And I totally dislike the cone of shame. You know the rubber booty thing that you're talking about that goes around the neck. Um, the original husband and wife that invented that got ripped off by Kong. Kong, the toy company that makes toys for dogs and cats. They got ripped off, and Kong stole the patent from underneath them. Didn't have to pay him a penny. Yep, nasty. I forgot what it was called back then, but Kong. Well, I'm hopping off here. Oh, sorry. Yeah. I've had the same feedback from customers. All right, me too. Thanks very much for being on. Well, thanks everybody for being on. Please help support the channel at petshoptalk.com. It's a cup of coffee if you go to Starbucks. Anyways, I guess that's what people say. Buy me a cup of coffee. That's literally what it is. And I appreciate everybody being on here. I'm going to be talking to Dr. Andrews to see if he'll come on at least 2 times a month to answer everybody's questions. I'm glad I can finally find a veterinarian that we have mutual respect for each other. I've been born and raised into this business. He's 23 years, graduated as a veterinarian, which is a really good thing. And it seems as though he went to a veterinary school that was not supported by Purina, Science Diet, or Royal Canin 23 years ago, which is a great, great, great thing. So he's not pushing he's not pushing Science Diet on you or Royal Canin, or he's not pushing prescription diets on you. In fact, he tries to work with all of his patients, okay, you want to feed that food? All right, let's try it out 6 to 8 weeks. He's not pushing anything, and he seems to really enjoy what he does, as I do. Once again, if you could please help support the channel so I can continue to do what I love. And I'm going to talk to Dr. Andrews privately and see if I can. He's in Huntington Beach, Teresa. Teresa, by the way, that question was asked to me almost on a daily basis. When I go live, it's asked, but as the customers, they would say, can I give my dog Zyrtec? Can I give my dog Claritin? Can I give my dog Benadryl? And my answer was always yes, yes, yes. But the funny thing is like Claritin D, Zyrtec D. I did not know that about the D part. Now, I don't know what that, it doesn't matter because it's all right. I don't know what that refers to. I don't know what the side effect of that decongestant is going to do. But that was good to know. I didn't know that part about the D. Decongestant, I mean, not that word. Anyways, I'm going to try to get him on a live. You're welcome, Teresa. Yeah, that was something that's definitely asked me all the time. I'm going to try to get Dr. Andrew on a couple of times a month. And please, please, please help support the channel at petshoptalk.com. It's literally less than the cost of a cup of Starbucks coffee. And also, I'll answer any questions. You'll hear my brutal honesty. I will tell you things that, you go to petshoptalk.com and you join. It's $7. That's it. And you can ask me anything that you want. You can even have one-on-ones with me. You can show me videos of certain things. And yeah, it's member exclusive lives. I'm going to try to get Dr. Andrew to go with me on petshoptalk.com so he can speak freely. It's a big problem on here. There's certain things I can't say. And my comments will be shadow banned. My videos will be shadow banned. It's ridiculous. So that space was created for that reason, so people can get real truth. And I'm going to ask Dr. Andrews, because it looks like he's pretty cool, and see if he'll go on petshoptalk.com and just speak freely. But he is in Huntington Beach, so I imagine he's going to be an expensive veterinarian. But you're welcome, Teresa, no problem. That was a good question, though, to ask. Very popular question. I appreciate everybody being on, and I will post a video if Dr. Andrew is going to be able to come on to the lives here on the various social media sites. And I will also post if he's going to come on petshoptalk.com to speak freely, if you know what I mean. Because a lot of veterinarians, they always got to be careful what they say. I got to be careful what I say, so it's a really good thing to have him on here. Thanks, Miss Swizzy Bears. Thanks, have a good Swizzy Beans. What?
My Swizzy Bears.
I'm glad to be back on here. It's good. It's I don't know why I said beans. But anyways, I appreciate everybody. I'll try to send anybody on petshoptalk.com will get notifications of anything that's happening whatsoever, and I usually answer within an hour if anybody asks me a question on petshoptalk.com. Daniel, I personally would stay away from anything with the word Purina on it, personally speaking. All right, I've been on, Daniel, sorry, I've been on for 2 hours now, and I'm going to go ahead and jump off. I'm starving, and I'm sorry I can't. I'm very hungry. Sorry I can't stay on and answer more of your questions, Daniel. I can definitely do it through petshoptalk.com. It's less than a cup of coffee. Well, if you go to Starbucks. I appreciate everybody being on, and thanks again to everybody for being on. It was nice.
$750.